Happy Halloween from us here at Tape Noise Podcasts. Welcome to Season 2. If you're a first-time listener, we highly suggest that you go back to the beginning at our pilot episode and listen through episodes 6 of Season 1 and catch up on the world of Polybius. As always, thanks for listening.
It's mysterious and dangerous.
I can see why you told me to take out my tinfoil hat.
Wait a second. This is all well-documented, declassified information. The game, man, the game.
There you go. Hash browns smothered, covered, and capped. Just the way you like them. Got some cheese grits here, too.
So you know my order?
Don't sound so put out. You can find just about anything online as long as you know where to look.
And where do you look to find out a random dude's Waffle House order?
Come on, Grant. Use your head for something besides a hat rack.
I'm not wearing a hat.
So you aren't using your head at all, then?
Ah, funny.
Look, to answer your question, food preferences are easy. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Folks are always taking pictures of their food. Then their friends take pictures of their food. It's a vicious cycle of pictures of food nobody wants to see. It's a circle of likes.
So why are you here?
Well, I'm here because we had hopes that you would be here. We figured you all would either figure out the first puzzle, and you would be here, or you wouldn't figure out the first puzzle, and, well, it wouldn't be your problem anymore.
What do you mean by that?
All right, look, I'm here to give you some information. Some, not a lot.
How much more?
Don't rush me, all right? And your food's getting cold.
I'm not that hungry.
It's rude to let a man go through the trouble of making you a meal and then just say, not that hungry.
Fine, whatever. Hey, this ain't bad.
Cooked a Waffle House all through college. That's where I discovered Polybius myself.
College?
No, the Waffle House. But listen, the people that I work for, well, they're good people, but they take their responsibilities seriously. You were introduced to Polybius, so we made initial contact. Now, I couldn't tell you much at all because there are consequences that come from getting too much help with Polybius. But I had to introduce myself.
Well, you did a bad job, and you owe me a phone, too.
I don't owe you shit. I didn't have a damn thing to do with your phone except telling you to get a regular old flip phone. You're welcome, by the way. And I did just introduce myself fine, given the parameters that I had to work with. That's beside the point, though. You solved the first puzzle, and that meant that I could tell you a little bit more and everything be all right.
What do you mean, and everything be all right?
Well, that's one of the reasons I'm here. There's a couple of things that you need to know before you go any further. The first one is that you do have to go further. Stopping is not an option.
Why not?
You must have wondered what the countdown was about, right? What happened if the timer reached 0?
Yeah.
Well, look, I've been doing this for a while now, a very long while now, and I can tell you that you absolutely do not want that timer to hit 0. I've worked with a lot of folks over the years that have been exposed to Polybius, and every single time the timer runs out, so do they.
What?
First one was a car wreck. Next one was a housing fire. Third got struck by lightning. Can you believe it? Struck by lightning. Fourth was...
I think I get it.
Do you?
Look, sounds like you're saying if the timer runs out, I die?
Well, you and everyone that you got involved. Well, except folks like me. See, I've already solved Polybius. Whatever you do, I'm safe.
What if I refuse to play?
You can refuse, but the timer keeps running. All you're doing is wasting time.
If you've already solved it, why can't you just tell me what to do next?
Well, that's the second thing you need to know. If you cheat, then the game is going to give you a penalty.
Kill me?
Sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes it speeds up how fast the timer counts down. Sometimes it just takes time off immediately.
Well, what does the game count as cheating?
Nobody that solved the game already can give you solutions. Sometimes hints are all right, but I had a partner once. She gave a hint to someone that was stuck on the last stage with time almost up. They both died in separate unsolved hit-and-run events the next day.
Wow, damn.
So yeah, I'll be giving you information, and it's important information like telling you to get a flip phone and stop wasting money, but I won't be giving you too much help, you understand? My people have already given you just about as much assistance as we can while guaranteeing our own safety.
Yeah, that's a lot to lay on a guy. How many levels are there to this Polybius?
I can't tell you that.
So what happens if we beat it?
I can't tell you that either, but you'll have options.
but I don't have a choice about playing?
Nope.
So Dan, Claire, and Viv, do they have a choice?
It's hard to say. My guess is no, not anymore. I think they're all too involved at this point. I'm planning on meeting with all of them very soon.
And none of us can talk to anyone about this? I mean, except you, I guess? Are you telling me that you can't help?
No, I told you I would help as much as I can without putting your stupid ass in more danger than you're already in.
How do I know that you're not just telling me this to keep me from getting help from somebody that's not shady?
I guess right now you don't, but you will soon. Anyone that has spent very much time around Polybius knows to keep their mouth shut when it's possible. Say too much, and you drag more bystanders into the mix. You add more variables, and variables are hard to control.
But what qualifies as quote-unquote exposed? I mean, how much do you have to know about the game before it counts you as a player?
Sometimes just telling someone about the game is enough to bring them into it. It's almost like a virus like that. But other times it's fine, and we think, well, I think the game is like a virus in another way. It wants to spread itself. It wants to infect new people and new players. That's why Stage 2 had you come here.
So you're telling me that Polybius has a mind of its own, and it wanted me to come to the Waffle House?
That's right.
That makes no sense.
Au contraire, mon frere, it makes plenty of sense if you assume that the game wants to spread its, well, let's say its genes.
It makes sense to send players to the Waffle House.
Let me ask you, who goes to the Waffle House late at night?
I don't know. College kids, folks that work seconds, folks coming home from the bars.
That's a bingo on all three.
So what's your point?
You ever noticed how most folks that claim to have seen Bigfoot or UFOs aren't usually the highest of high class?
I mean, yeah, I've heard this one before. They have more to lose as far as social standing goes. Folks get really uneasy if their loan officer starts talking about Sasquatch running through their yard late at night.
So they're less likely to talk about it.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Now, say that you're making a program that you want spread by word of mouth. Are you going to target the people that are going to keep their traps shut? Or are you going to target the people that have less to lose and might be more willing to talk a little bit about some strange shit they've seen lately?
Like the midnight patrons at the Waffle House?
Check out the big brain on Grant. Yes, like the late night patrons at the Waffle House. And I'll take it one step further for you. The game, that is Polybius, the second stage, which I reckon you've now completed, always sends players to the closest Waffle House, Denny's, or other late night greasy spoon in the area.
Which is why you're here.
Which is why I'm here. Sometimes the game makes a mistake and sends players to the second closest option. Sometimes there's more than one legitimate option. So our protocol is to evacuate all area greasy spoons and place an agent in the restaurant.
And I just happened to get you.
And you're lucky. I'm the only one of us that can cook worth a damn.
And if I'd gone to another location?
You'd have met another agent. Like I said, we hedge our bets. You're going to wake up in the morning and see a news report about a gas leak at both area Waffle Houses. A coincidence, but not an impossible one.
And you think people will go for it?
They've been going for it for nearly 50 years. Think about it. Last year, you all had a crackhead fall out of the ceiling of this very Waffle House. It was news for 12 hours. Then everyone just went on with their lives.
All right, fine. So let's say you're right. Let's say the game wants me to spread its genes. The game also doesn't want me getting too much help. So where's the line? What does the game actually want? I mean, it's fine to talk to someone about it, but I can't ask for help?
Well, yes and no. You can't ask for too much help from someone that's already solved Polybius. Other than that, it looks like talking to just about anyone is fair game. But it's hard to know how much information you can have about Polybius before they become players as well. The game is, well, the rules are either so complex we still don't understand them, or it's just capricious in how it enforces the rules.
You talk like Polybius enforces its own rules.
Well, as of right now, that's our best theory.
You keep saying we and our. You and who else?
Well, me and the agency I work for. You don't need to know who that is yet. Right now, that's not your biggest concern. You solve level 2, and I'll tell you some more.
I still don't know why I should believe any of this.
You don't have to. It's a free country. I'm just trying to help. But you let that timer run down, then you'll believe me.
Well, is there anything else you can tell me?
Not and both of us be safe. No, but you might be able to tell me something and help both of us.
I knew you wanted something.
I guarantee that this is not what I want at all. You think I want to be posted up at an empty Waffle House at midnight, cooking for a rude dumbass that apparently isn't interested in saving his own hide?
Well, what the hell do you want to know?
The guy that gave you the machine, describe him for me.
Well, tall, late 40s, maybe early 50s. In pretty good shape,
He
I
have
guess.
a scar on his cheek? His left one.
Yeah.
Kind of shaped like a J, like a fish hook.
How do you know James?
James. That's what he's calling himself these days?
How do you,
I bet you can't get a hold of James now, can you?
No, but...
Sounds right. Look, our time is up. I'll see you again if you solve the second puzzle.
With Musterman making it clear that he had told me everything that he intended to share, I drove home. When I left, Musterman had his back to me as he scraped the grill clean. I left, got in my car, and as soon as I pulled on the highway, I saw the now familiar black Charger pull out behind me. It was close enough to keep an eye on me, but far enough away that I might not have noticed the Charger if I hadn't grown paranoid over the last couple of days. Once I got close enough to the house that it was obvious I wasn't going anywhere else, the Charger turned on a side street and disappeared into the night. As soon as I got home, I climbed into bed, but like the past several nights, I didn't actually get much sleep. I really just laid there wondering how much of what I just learned had to be passed along to Claire and Dan, and probably even Viv. I didn't expect them to take the news too well, even if they believed it. So I laid there tossing and turning, and at some point I started to doze, but every time I started to really sleep, I'd start dreaming of polygons and virtual ships going across a screen and firing at one another. It was really freaking annoying because I needed to sleep. I gave up trying to sleep at all around 7 a.m. when my flip phone buzzed. I checked it, and it nearly had 90% charged, despite the fact that I completely forgot to plug it in. I had a text message that ruined any hope of getting any rest for, well, the rest of the day. The text just said, "The timer has been reset." I was disappointed, but not surprised. I didn't really believe Musterman, at least not entirely. How could I? Nearly everything he said sounded like it came from a cheesy spy thriller put together by a hack writer and rushed out the production door, but I didn't disbelieve everything Musterman said either. Knowing that the next level of the game was starting up wasn't too much of a shock. I didn't recognize the number, but honestly, that didn't really come as any big surprise either. How many of us can honestly say that we remember most of the phone numbers we call or text on a weekly or even daily basis? When I was a kid, I practically had a Rolodex floating around inside my head, but moving to smartphones had basically eliminated that need, and I guess the Rolodex went along with it. I shot a text back. It took forever using the old texting, but muscle memory took over after a while, and the process wasn't as painful as it could have been. "I lost all my numbers," the text said. "Who is this, and how long is on the timer?" Only 3 people had keys to the studio at any time: myself, Dan, and whoever the intern at the time might be. Viv at this exact moment. I couldn't see Viv getting to the studio before myself or Dan. It was hard enough to get her there at the crack of noon, so I figured it was probably Dan. Regardless, I set my phone down and started getting ready to leave the house. I did the pat down for phone, keys, and wallet, and nearly headed out the door before realizing the first time in nearly a decade that I wouldn't be able to just plug my phone in the car stereo and hit the road. I went into my office and dug around in my closet until I found my old CD wallet that I'd had since high school. My drive to the studio was also going to be a drive down memory lane, but I figured I deserved a little nostalgic peace of mind after the past few days. I checked my phone before I got in the car, hoping that I would have gotten an answer to my text, but no luck. I jumped in the car, popped in a scuffed copy of OK Computer, and made my way to the studio. I thought I caught a glimpse of the black Charger once or twice, but couldn't be too sure with the morning traffic. I wondered how closely I was being monitored. Was my house bugged? Should I unplug my PC or my laptop? Or just accept the fact that there was no getting away from the ever-present surveillance that I found myself to be the subject of? Well, when I pulled into the studio parking lot, I noticed that mine was the only car there. I wasn't really too worried. Whoever sent the text had probably gotten to the studio, saw that no one else was around, and gone to get some breakfast. No big deal. I thought about leaving to go get myself some breakfast too, then I stopped. Was I procrastinating? Was I hungry? Or did I just want to delay walking in the studio and seeing the glossy black eye of Polybius staring back at me? I consulted with my stomach and decided it was probably the latter. I went in and saw that everything was basically the way I'd left it the night before, took a deep breath and let out a long sigh. I figured knowledge was power at this point. I picked up the smartphone still tethered to the Polybius cabinet, and sure enough it said Level 3 in block retro text at the top of the screen. Beneath that, a timer was counting down. I watched as it clicked from 23 hours and 0 minutes to 22 hours and 59 minutes. My flip phone buzzed and I flipped it open, hoping I'd finally gotten an answer back from whoever had first texted me about the timer restarting, but my phone said this text wasn't from any phone number at all, just empty spaces where the sender's info should be. The text said, 23 hours remaining. You have been connected. You must play. Time was already running out.
Thanks for listening to Polybius. This episode of Polybius featured the voice acting talents of
Grant Walden?
Fletch Brown.
Hey guys, Grant here. I hope you've enjoyed Polybius. This is new to us and we're gauging fan interest. If you like it and need another audio drama in your life, let us know what you think. Find us on Facebook at Tape Noise Podcasts and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey guys, Dan here, and thanks so much for listening. We're really excited to hear your thoughts, so please tell us what you think, and if you enjoyed it, please tell your friends. Thanks, and we'll see you real soon.